Of this council meeting of September 26, 2023 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest Fromme.
Here.
Dick Marshke.
Here.
Jim Bansma.
Here.
Marie Fenske. Here. Christine Schmitz. Here. Bryce Remy.
Here. All, if you're able, please rise and recite the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda tonight, we are swearing in the new Horicon Police Department police aide.
All right, so many of you know I am a law enforcement advocate for Special Olympics. I was asked, if you want to turn around and see everybody. I was asked if I needed any kind of help at the police department. I was approached saying that Ben likes fire and EMS. He really loves your guys' trucks. He wants to reorganize the ambulance, but I've been telling him we have to get with EMS. So Ben has been with our department for about a month and a half. He comes on, Wednesdays? Yeah, Wednesdays and Thursdays for about 2 hours. So we find him jobs to do, and where'd Tracy go? Tracy comes along and she assists Ben on helping out at the police department. So one thing, I love having this guy here at the police department. All the athletes out there, I look at their faces, I have them up in my office, and they just bring so much joy to everybody's life, their challenges, and we just love having Ben, and I wanted to swear him in as our volunteer police aide. So
So if you can just raise your right hand, and when I'm done reading, I'll ask you to say, I do. I, Ben DeYoung, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of volunteer police aide of the city of Horicon to the best of my ability and in accordance to the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. I do. Congratulations. Congratulations, man.
Congratulations. Thank you.
all right, let's move.
All right, folks. Next up on the agenda is to act on the council minutes of August 22nd. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Discussion on the council minutes? If not, please call the roll.
Bryce Remy,
Aye.
Forrest Fromme.
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Aye.
Thank you
Jim
again.
Bansma.
Aye.
Marie Fenske. Aye. Christine Schmitz. Aye.
Motion carries. Item agenda number 6 is public appearances. The only person I got is Eugene.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was in a hurry and I actually lost one of my pages, so I'll have to wing it a little bit. But I just wanted to say thank you to the council members for pushing through and with pedestrian crossings, flashing crossing lights. Especially a real big thank you to Maria. I understand she's been talking about this for several years. And thank goodness for her, I guess, really to get it through. I continue across, let's see, I'm gonna start with the button. As I approach, if I'm on the bike, I get off the bike, I'm pulling a cart. Or if I'm walking up to it, I reach for the button, I start the button. By the time I get to the gutter, I can tell traffic is already slowing down. And then they'll be stopped. So I feel much safer with that flashing light. Years ago, or without that, I had to actually put myself at risk, get into traffic in order to get people to slow down and stop. There's been years ago, one time I almost hit a car because I pushed the bike wheel into the street further before they paid attention. So that simple thing of that flashing light really does a lot, and it improved it considerably. Yeah, you're never going to get rid of the bad drivers out there ignoring streets, going too fast, but that's, again, thank you to Maria for that. On to the bikes. I need to say another thank you to the Phoenix Group for the donation for bicycle parts. I was able to replace all the hand grips. There was a lot of them torn and really grimy. I still have plenty of cash left over, but I've repaired about 4 more that I just used used bicycle tires or rear tires, and the tubes that from the police department that I got bikes from. So it's been going very well. There's hardly any flats lately, just a few minor adjustments. Still getting plenty of use. One thing you want to consider is the rule on your boards do state to use it during the day and return to the park at night. Well, there are several instances where that's not being done, and it probably is 1 or 2 people in particular. So I don't know if something needs to be said to them. I don't think they have ever contacted anybody, either Cody or somebody, to ask, say, hey, can I use it for several days and just keep it? That'd be fine too. I don't mind if it's late at night. Don't ride it then at night. I picked up 3 of them up at the high school one night, and there was a 3rd person coming by on bikes. I didn't know what kind of bikes it was, but I just told him, I said, ain't it a little late to be out on the bike? It's my bike anyway. I said, it's still late at night and no lights. It's not safe. But, so, if anything wants to be done with that, just let me know. Otherwise, I am continuing to monitor the bikes daily, look at it in the morning, see where they're at. And I did turn in to Bryce what it cost me to put the air tags on. All right, thank you. Thank you, Maria.
Next on the agenda is the Personnel and Finance Committee report. Forrest.
Personnel Finance met September 18th. 6 o'clock at City Hall, all members present, no public appearances. We had a motion to approve our minutes for August. Motion to approve a citywide 2024 reevaluation for the city. Another motion to approve the bills for August and set our next meeting for Tuesday, the 17th of October at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. And then we adjourned into closed session at, I think it was like 6:27. It's been removed from my minutes. I don't have anything. That's it.
Great. Public Works and Development Committee, Jim.
Public Works and Development Committee meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by Chairman Jim Bansma. Members present, Bansma and Fenske. Members absent, Schmitz. Motion by Fenske, second by Bansma to approve the August 2nd, 2023 minutes. All voting aye, motion carried. Public appearance, 2 residents had suggestions to improve the appearance of the flowers downtown. Schmitz arrived at 6:10 p.m. Banner High reviewed the items that are being requested for consideration for the 2024 budget. Discussion on possible garbage/recycling changes in the future. Outdoor planters on streets, no discussion. DPW update, street painting is going on. Brush route is the 2nd and 4th Mondays. Flashing pedestrian signs have been installed. Radio/controller issues with Hubbard Street sign. The pool has been shut down for the season. Working on 2024 budget items. Water, wastewater update, treatment plant facility is halfway done. Curb stop repairs, Marshland Crossing lift station is set. Utilities under the new road are 90% complete. Large meter testing the week of 9/11. Working on 2024 budget items. Set the next meeting date for Thursday, October 5th, 2023, 6 p.m. at the DPW conference room. Motion by Fenske, second by Bansma to adjourn. All voting aye. The meeting adjourned at 7:45 p.m.
Next, we have the Public Safety Committee report. Marie?
Public Safety Committee met September 12th. All members were present. Motion to approve the minutes. Public appearances, Eugene Rossing thanks Safety Committee, Police Department, Department of Public Works for installing the street pedestrian crossing lights in town. So they were a great addition. And the Highway 28 and 33 is a dangerous intersection. Discussion on pedestrian safety, positive feedback from other residents on the crossing lights, and another discussion about Highway 33 and 28 intersection. Safe routes to school discussion about volunteer crossing guards, positive feedback for a safe routes to school plan. Discussion on utilizing DSERT during trick-or-treat hours in Horicon to help at crosswalks. Biederman gave an update on the City of Horicon emergency management, tabletop exercise, discussion on dog ordinance, discussion on potential downtown outdoor refreshment area ordinance, no operator licenses at the time. Next meeting date, Tuesday, October 10th at 6 p.m. Public Safety Building, and motion to adjourn the meeting, 7 o'clock.
Thanks, Marie. Next, we have the Park and Recreation Board report. Bryce?
Park and Rec Board meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by Chairperson Remy. All members were present. There was a motion to approve last month's minutes. We had a public appearance from Eugene Rossing on the Horicon Free Bicycle Program. Parks report included no part-time mowers currently, and the pool was shut down. Aquatic report came in roughly under budget, around the amount of $8,000, pending one final payroll. Rec report, current activities are still continuing, such as pickleball, and Boy wants to work with the Parks Board on a free fishing day tournament. We had a playground question and answer with Compan Rep John Hill. There was discussion on requesting the District Park playground in the city budget. There was a motion by Boy, second by Kroll to recommend a Canadian Goose design and second playground option with a zip line. Discussion on the District Park baseball field blacktop. There was discussion on a naturescape at Bowling Green Park, and we advised that it would be better at Rotary Park. Kiwanis Park Amphitheater, the private donor backed up, and would like to see the board request it in the 2024 budget. Boy had decided or brought up a motion to allow a pollinator garden in parks. So we made a motion for the Whitty Park DOT triangle. Marshke left the meeting at 7:35 PM. There was a motion to approve donation of zinnia seeds, another one to allow the placement of that pollinator garden. Set next meeting date for October 9th at DPW conference room, and we adjourned at 7:40.
Next on the agenda is a plan commission report. Dick?
Planning Commission met September 11th. Meeting was called to order at 6 PM. All members were present except for Dave Magnuson. Also in attendance, the owner of 1243 East Lake Street, concerned resident next to 1243 East Lake Street. And MSA and Blowfish Architects. Motion by Ward, second by Amundson to approve the minutes for August 21st. All in favor. Under public appearances, concerned resident regarding naturescape at Rotary Park, rocks and branches. Motion by our Mayor Moss, open a public hearing for a conditional use permit, erecting a flashing sign giving information not related to public service in C-2 Highway Commercial District located at 1243 East Lake Street. Motion carried. The public, motion by Sullivan, second by Westmeyer to close the public hearing on the conditional use permit. Motion by Westmeyer, second by Gallenbeck to approve the conditional use permit, erecting a flashing sign giving information not related to a public service in the C2 Highway Commercial District located at 1243 East Lake Street. Motion carried with no objections. Motion by Biederman, second by Sullivan to approve the site plan for 85 Washington Street for condition of paving, with conditions of paving in the gravel parking lot. Motion carried. Motion by Marshke, second by Amundson to adjourn. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 6:31.
Thank you. All right, next is my report. I got a few different things. One, congratulations to all involved with Autumn Art on the Marsh last Sunday. It was a lot of fun. Looked like we had a lot of vendors and there was a lot of people there. Congratulations to Bryce on those ducks. That was really cool. When you raised $1,100 for some future park improvements in the lake. I'd like to also congratulate the Phoenix group on the music at the park this year. It was great. Unfortunately, the 3 bad days of weather we had all summer long just happened to fall on Wednesdays, it seemed. But it was, I thought you guys had a great summer. A lot of people down here, and it looked like people really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of civic groups were able to make some money selling food in the lake down here. So it's a really great thing we have going on every year in the summer. And then yesterday, we had the ribbon cutting for Moraine Park's Horicon Regional Center. Fortunately, it wasn't at the regional center site because of the rain. So we were at Moraine Park campus in Beaver Dam yesterday. It was very well attended, and it was great to see their opinions and their thoughts on Horicon. They were happy to see Horicon be so enthusiastic and welcoming to Moraine Park. And I thought it went well. And then there's 3 of us that were there. It was myself, Kristen, and Cody, and I thought it was a great thing. And it made me really proud to be a part of it and to be from Horicon, because that's how well it went yesterday in my eyes. And we even got thank yous again from not only our state reps, but our federal representatives that represent our districts. Were impressed with not only what's happening at Moraine Park, but the willingness and acceptance of Horicon to take on such a project. So thank you to everyone involved. And thank you, Horicon, for taking the chance on Moraine Park. I think this is going to be a great thing for our city to be accomplished. And moving on. Review the facade improvement and building improvement grant application submitted for 327 East Lake Street. Here in Horicon, I believe it's the bank.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Horicon Bank.
Okay,
Just says Horicon, missed the word bank.
yeah,
Congratulations, Josh, you're the winner.
all right. So reviewing.
Jay, I don't know if you want to get up and talk a little bit about it, or if you just want to listen to me talk about it.
I'm pretty okay just listening for the most part. As you see, we've already invested a bunch of money in trying to make it a safer building, and we'd like to proceed with a considerable amount of additional funds to make it look a lot better for downtown Horicon, so hope you support us.
So included in your packet, you'll find a variety of items. The first page will be a 2-page letter of recommendation coming from myself. They submitted application for facade and building improvement grant. The facade, so this is very similar. We just had one of these, I believe in July it was. Difference with this one is Horicon Bank is looking to improve 2 facades. So they would be looking at $10,000 in facade grants and then $20,000 in building improvement grants. So you would see that letter, and then you would have the application that we had received from Horicon Bank, along with kind of their little introductory letter, and then some of the their drawings or sketches of the improvements, and then the quotes for the improvements that they're looking to do. I believe I did also include in your packets the facade improvement grant program and the building improvement grant program documentation as well, so that you guys can kind of take a look at that. Again, it's very nice to see a new program that the city has introduced, and within the last 3 months here, we've had 2 entities come forward and want to make use of those funds, so that says a lot.
Plans look great.
It's very exciting. So at this point, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be moving along, but so this, the next thing that Josh would be looking for would be a motion to act on the facade improvements and the building improvement grant applications. Again, this would be probably a motion to approve the 2 facade improvement grants up to a maximum payment of $5,000 each, and a building improvement grant up to a maximum payment of $20,000 for Horicon Bank for improvements at 327.
I'll second.
Are there any other comments on the facade improvement for the bank? Like the old time foods?
It looks great too.
Dress up downtown.
Yeah.
Is the building just gonna be another branch or will it have a different purpose?
There's a little tug of war going on, who gets to occupy it right now, but it will be administrative support. You have 1 to 2 departments, and maybe some storage.
Thank you. All I had to, I've driven by, their Wauwatosa building that they put up with in the last 2 years, and they've done a good job, in my opinion. So I'd love to see them stick around.
All right, in lieu of any other comments, clerk, please call the roll.
Jim Bansma,
Aye.
Marie Fenske. Hi. Christine Schmitz.
Hi.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
Forrest Fromme.
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Motion passes.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Jay. I'll be sending over in the next couple of weeks a grant agreement between the city, state grant agreements, kind of like a cross between a grant agreement and developer's agreement. That'll need to be enacted between the city of Horicon and Horicon Bank. I'll get that over
We
to
look
you.
forward to it, and we look forward to getting started real soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Item 15, we're to act on the installation of a pollinator garden in the deer garden, in the DOT right away across from Woody Park. Nice.
I will make a motion to approve the installation of a pollinator garden in the DOT right away across from Woody.
Second.
Any comments?
my one comment, I know someone tried something with wildflowers once before, and I know that was a little rough, because you had to like burn it and stuff. Jerry is, as you'll see in the next item, he only wants zinnia, which you have to replant every year. You wanted me to make sure it's very clear, people can pick it, but you don't have to burn it every year, so.
No, only one thing about the DOT right away. Is that going? Or are they just gonna mow it off?
Don't we mow it?
We mow that.
You were at the meeting when we talked about this.
I know, I just,
Do you require the DOT's permission to do something like that?
I don't know, I have not looked into that.
When we talked about this too, Woody Park, the playground is actually on DOT right away, we found out, so.
So they probably won't mind
Hey.
flowers.
Yeah.
I mean,
we talked about it, but we didn't vote on it.
We did,
It's not in the minutes.
it's in the minutes.
But you don't have any concerns as far as maintenance? I mean, something for real just costs, I don't know.
I guess I
Yeah,
would-
Kristen's point.
I think that's in the next,
It will be.
next part.
Nothing.
I don't want it.
Forest, you over there.
There's a right of way there, it goes all the way to the railroad
Well-
track, so.
I have
Well,
rolled off on everyone.
Right. If there's any other comments,
The
let's
bikes haven't been free.
take the roll.
I just worry about the
So
mess.
this is a
'cause
motion
I guess-
to approve installation of pollinator garden in DOT right of way located across from Whitty Park. Bryce Remy,
Hi,
Forrest Fromme,
Aye.
Dick Marshke,
Aye,
Jim Bansma,
it's just,
Marie Fenske. Aye. Christine Schmitz. Aye.
Next is an act to donate seeds for the pollinator garden. Bryce?
I will make a motion to approve the donation of zinnia seeds for the pollinator garden from Jerry Boy.
Second. Any comment on the donation of seeds?
So,
Yeah, who's planting them?
right, so you get in the donation, who's planting them, and then you said it has to be replanted every year?
At our meeting, Jerry talked about that he was going to rent a utility and then plant it himself.
So Jerry's gonna donate the seeds and plant everything.
How tall is this, these plants gonna get? I guess I would have liked to know something about.
We have zinnias all
They
over.
reach 12 to 14 inches tall.
And I don't want people parking along the street to go pick it,
Picking
because
flowers.
it's a congested area as it is with the semi-traffic and all the complaints I get in that area. I don't want people pulling and parking, because it's not wide enough, and then with the semi-traffic, I guess I wish it could have came or asked advice from other aspects of just recreational.
Yeah, I mean, there was discussion on originally he wanted taller flowers, like 3-foot tall ones, and they're like, keep it lower so you can see the deer. But that was,
Right.
most of his gardens like that are zinnias and, which are only about this high.
I guess my only concerns were if we till this up and do this, then we're wrecking the grass again, and Scotty can attest to how much work it is to undo that. Also, I know Jerry says there's no weeds in it. Everything you do like this has weeds, and if the weeds get to be over 8 inches tall, then we're not obeying our own weed ordinance that we enforce. So those are my two concerns with the project.
So how do you take care of the weeds in
And-
something like that? Just like, what do you do?
I
Is
mean,
that a spray?
in
Do you spray
some,
something?
you won't be able to spray them. Once you plant something like this, they're not Roundup ready. So basically you're either hand picking them or you're mowing the whole thing off if weeds come up. Those are my two concerns with him too, and Amy brings up some good concerns with traffic, so
I just wish that everybody could start looking at the full picture and not just focusing on one, we want to do this, but then you don't get everybody's opinions in it and advice, because I mean, we're out there daily. I'm looking at security aspects, he's looking at other aspects, so it'd just be nice if we're gonna all start coming together as one big unit.
yeah, I agree. I mean, all the public agendas are posted online. So I mean, I look at DPW agenda, I look at personal finance. If there's something I want to go to, I attend to it.
Right, but if you're the head of the committee and you know these answers are gonna come up, you should be reaching out to department heads and saying, okay, this is what we have, what ideas do you have? And then you can bring back our ideas and suggestions. That way Cody and I aren't sitting here like, oh, okay, You know, you gotta kind of give us a heads up and get our ideas as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think this is gonna be such a big deal. I mean, it's flowers in the garden.
It's not until you start recommending or saying that people can stop and pick them.
Stop and pick. I can't,
That's where your concern's gonna be in. And then I guess it is valid that if we turn this into a wildflower patch, you are removing the grass and putting in the flowers, and what happens if all of a sudden 2 years from now, we don't have a donation for it, and then we gotta turn it all back into grass.
Yeah, I get that.
So I know that would be a concern, and then Cody's point with the weeds. It's, yeah, I guess I see those concerns. Not saying it's not worth trying, I just know that we should be encouraging people to stop and pick them.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we don't have
It's
to.
also
Are we
something that
encouraging them to
change
stop
before
and pick
next
them
week.
though?
That was a Jerry idea, was to
That's-
encourage them, but you don't have to encourage them. I don't know.
I'm not an elected official, but ultimately this really does sound like it's a decision that's totally within Cody's purview, as Cody maintains the DOT right of way, so I would probably want to Cody, who's in charge of that department, who has to maintain it. And then Cody's also been a previous mower, and Scotty's the one now charged with taking care of all parks and the outdoors, and my guess is if we ask Scotty what he feels, he probably doesn't have anything nice to say.
I think
Scotty,
Scotty
what
should
do
be
you
in
got?
the next, park board.
Because he probably sees more negatives with that. I think it's a great concept. I think because he's the person who's gonna be out there doing, he sees more negatives with it.
Because we did stop mowing that. Do you remember what year that was?
Right before I showed up.
And it was,
I heard it turned into a disaster.
it was an absolute disaster. And I guess my fear is that once you road and till it up, grass seed is not cheap. So for us to go back through there, and then we're gonna have to re-till it, re-landscape it, plant grass seed. So if you may get this growing, I'm avid deer hunter, so I grow a lot of food plots. If there's gonna be weeds that come up, and then when we have to mow it mid-season, then we're gonna have to replant it grass. And I just, if the council wants to do this, just know that that's what you're getting into, is there's gonna be some expense and manpower with that. If the weeds come through, not saying they are, but just the odds of it are definitely, there's a possibility.
And aren't you struggling to find manpower for your part-time,
Yes.
spring, fall, summer mower?
Yeah, currently right now we're part-time, very part-time.
probably do need.
Well, if that's gonna, well, they do, he's not gonna work there. But I guess, I like the concept. Obviously, you bring up some really good points of people stopping and liability. I just don't know how, you gotta know what you're getting into.
Does anybody remember back when, across from Josh's house, when we had a garden like that? Does anybody remember that?
I'm gonna cut down the.
And how long did that last?
So the one in
Up
Osborne
by,
Park.
right across from the mayor's house
Yep,
on that corner?
yep.
They
Yeah,
had one?
we got one in Osborne Park too. We did that wildland, that prairie land in there. We would just keep shrinking, because we keep mowing more of it, putting it back to.
It just didn't.
Do you have,
Well, doesn't this have until May before anyone can do
Yes.
anything anyways? Not to stop the discussion, but if it's, I think it might be something where you're looking at it now, but you have 6 months to change your mind.
Yep.
Okay. You have 6 months to potentially change your mind, you have 6 months to
Yep.
potentially change your mind. But I'm not gonna tell you guys on what you wanna do or roll. I'm just, it looks like it probably needs a little more thought. And right now, we're on a motion for the seed donation, from Bryce, seconded by Jim. Is there any other discussion on the seeds? Right, if not, clerk, please call the roll.
Bryce Remy,
Aye.
Forrest Fromme,
No,
Dick Marshke,
What are we voting on now? Which one?
the donation of the seeds from Jerry Boy.
If we're doing it, we have, yeah.
We already voted to do it, right?
Yes, you already voted to do it. So this is just voting on the donation of the seeds.
So why wouldn't we take the seat?
Jim Bansma,
Aye.
Marie Fenske,
Aye.
Christine Schmitz,
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Next on the agenda is the 2024 citywide property reevaluation agreement. Forrest?
Oh, yeah, this is gonna be a favorite for me. So, my understanding, and Kristen, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are a little overdue for citywide assessment on our properties.
Correct.
The motion I'm looking to make will be, external only, meaning they're not gonna be required to get into the homes for assessments, so they'll just assess from outside the properties. And we didn't have any changes to that. since
No,
we've met,
no
right?
changes.
Okay. So let me go ahead and get a motion. Motion to approve the citywide 2024 reevaluation in the amount of $56,100 by Bomar Appraisal.
Second,
And any questions you guys have around it, we can answer.
could we change that to
It is extra. Oh, in the,
your motion?
well, they're not gonna do it internal for 56,000. Unless you
Oh,
want
and
to
that's
do
what
it.
I heard it. The motion I heard was to approve the 2024 citywide exterior property revaluation agreement from Bomar Appraisal Inc. in the amount of $56,100.
Okay. That's what I
Does it
said.
say interior somewhere else, Jim?
No, it does not talk about interior, it's for exterior.
Oh, yeah, exterior.
At committee level, we had
Right.
yeah.
And just for record, can you say how many years it's been since we did it last?
It has been, hold one moment.
Is it over 10, right?
Oh, yes. I believe the last one was completed. The last one was completed 13 years ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
And Kristen, do you know, what's the, what is average city our size or even a little bit bigger, do you know, historic, like, any comparisons to other,
As far as
how often?
how
they do it?
often, that is rather go. It kind of goes with the economy.
Okay.
So obviously with house sales going
Yeah.
the way that they have, that's why we've fallen way extremely low lately because of house sales. Now, we have not gotten correspondence from the state to say that we're not compliant, but from a city's aspect and to make it fair for all taxpayers, to make sure that everybody's paying fair and equal amounts on their property values, you need to be reevaluated.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because you want that percentage to be at 1 on your tax bill, at 1, and I believe we were, on our last ones, we're at like 0.75. So, it's not being equally distributed.
I think that's all good to mention.
Yes.
Educational
Yes.
purposes. So
And that does not mean that your taxes are lower. That's also another myth, but once we go through that, once we're doing that next year, will be appropriate documentation and educational material for you guys, so that it will be out on the website, you guys will have it, that way you can field phone calls or questions that do come.
excellent.
I will say too, like I saw this on the agenda, so I dug through the last 23 years of state tax records for my house. And I noticed between 2012 and 2023, my house went up $187 in taxes, so it's not an insane amount.
Well, the benefit is for the homeowner if they go to sell, right, or if they go to get their
I
house.
think what really ends up is the person that buys, the people who have been living there are maybe not necessarily paying their full value, their full share.
Got it.
Because the value of their house is lower than what the market is really at.
Got it. Good, thank you.
Any other comments on the reevaluation? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest Fromme,
Aye.
Dick Marshke, Jim Bansma,
Aye.
Marie Fenske. Aye. Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is the acting on the authorization to implement a simplified rate increase for the water utility pending Wisconsin Public Service Commission approval.
So a few months ago already, oh gosh, this was probably back in April, you heard from Ehlers about our water and our sewer rates and how they are in need of an increase. And we had kind of talked about plans on moving forward at that time. General consensus was to go ahead and apply for a simplified rate increase for water at the end of this calendar year and have that in effect for just over a year, and in the process of going for a full rate case study. So we had already kind of had that in place, and then in the meantime, the PSC sent Cody and I a lovely little letter right before Labor Day weekend, letting us know that they had concern over our water utilities finances because we don't have enough operating reserves to operate for their required amount of time. And so we had, what was it, like 4 weeks, 21 days, something like that, to respond as to what we're gonna do about that. Which of course we already had a plan, so we shared our plan with them. I have not heard back from them yet as to what they think of our plan. And then in the meantime, I did go ahead and apply for that simplified rate increase. Simplified rate increase is, just as the name implies, a very simple process. You hop online, you enter a couple of pieces of information, and it spits out, and be the second page of your packet. It looks a little bit like this. In bold, it says test one, financial eligibility qualifies, and it says yes. And that's because the line above it says, we are at 1.2%, and we are eligible if it was below 6.5. So we're obviously very eligible. Last year when we applied, I believe we were negative, so we made some strides, I think, in the positive direction. Simplified rate increase due to inflation is 8%, so that is huge. Again, that is set by the PSC. We have no control over that. Last year, our simplified rate increase permitted an increase of 4.5%. So everything has been submitted. All that's left is for you guys to authorize it. And then the first page of what was distributed kind of appears like this. This just needs to go into the paper, and then I will let the PSC know what we have done. And then I have to, that's considered the formal application, and that just has to be done at least 45 days prior to the day we want the rates to go into effect, which is December 1st.
Kristen, what does PSC mean?
Public Service Commission.
Public Service Commission, so that's what the governing body that looks over.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Okay.
They write all the rules related to water. We can't do anything without their permission.
Yep.
We can't set any rates without their permission.
So we weren't planning for this simplified, we were looking to just do the full one, correct?
Nope, we were talking about doing the simplified in the meantime, because a full rate case takes a calendar year.
Okay,
So we will be applying, I actually applied for the 2024 full rate case study. So Cody and I will be working with Ehlers to get that underway after the first of the year, with an implementation date of probably Jan 1 of 25.
okay, yeah, that's what it was.
But this was in the meantime, because we can't go another year without.
Yeah, it's been multiple years we've been in the red.
Yeah.
This isn't a new problem.
No, not at all.
I'm aware.
Okay. So, yeah, you've been around.
So on that note, do we have a motion to act on the authorization?
So move.
Second,
Any further discussion?
would this also impact the customers who have bulk water?
That's all water rates.
I would assume so, but I will have to say I don't do the utility billing, so I don't know how it affects bulk water.
I want to say all of them go up.
I would assume, but you know what they say about that word.
And this all comes down to us, the residents in town are not paying enough money for, that's been.
We are not recouping enough revenue to cover our expenses.
It could also be due to the fact that we're not using as much either.
Yes, we have seen a decline in water usage.
Between water efficiency measures and.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you also need to keep in mind rising cost of expenses as well as your debt payments. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys have went out for projects. When you go out for projects, projects are paid for via debt. Debt payments are paid for by the utility, so users are gonna have to pay for that. So, you know, we do Southwind Trail, that's great, we do Southwind Trail. Well, we're all gonna be paying for that utility infrastructure that was put in. So.
Yeah, and you look at the rising cost of chemical costs, fuel, just everything, electricity. I mean, we use a massive amount of electricity to run those pumps.
Right, I've had some residents reach out, I just wanted it to be clear, because they've reached out and just think that the city's just taxing for the heck of it, and I know that's not the case.
Right.
The 8% set by the Public Service Commission, not by Cody, not by Chris.
Right, and it's not a
Correct.
tax, it's a user rate, it's a user fee.
Apologies for saying that incorrectly, but
No,
But
I mean,
it is
I
a
just
common
wanted to-
misconception.
Right,
A lot
it's
of
a-
people think it's a tax. It's
Right.
not.
it's completely not.
Right.
It is literally only the users that are paying for what they are using.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that explanation. I think that'll help. You know, with,
I mean, nobody likes to see it or pay for it, I get that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's something to think of every street project, I mean, when we had Kansas Street.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the property owners are responsible for laterals, but all the other infrastructure that gets put in, all of us as property owners are paying for that, whether you live on Kansas Street, whether you don't live on Kansas Street.
Yep.
being part of the city, of the
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you need a clean and safe drinking water system.
Yes.
So,
We all want something to come on when you turn the water.
Anyone else have any comments? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest Fromme,
Aye.
Dick Marshke,
Aye.
Jim Bansma,
Aye.
Marie Fenske. Aye. Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is acting on the DPW maintenance worker pay scale advancement. I believe this is for Mike Arndt.
Can't believe it's been a year.
yeah,
Cody.
time flies. Mike Arndt has hit his year on September 8th, I believe.
That's what it says in the memo.
Yes, September 8th. I'm looking to advance him to the top of the pay scale for his 1 year, which is customary. I've reviewed Mike Arndt's performance for the first year. Mike continues to grow in his position at the DPW, has taken on and accomplished tasks asked of him. He also suggests projects and completed them with excellent results. His decision-making and conduct is excellent, and his equipment operation is sufficient for 1 year working at the city of Horicon.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any other comments on the pay scale advancement? All right, not clerk, please call the roll.
It's a motion to approve the pay scale advancement of DPW maintenance worker Mike Arndt to the maximum rate of $25.06 per hour, effective September 8th, 2023. Bryce Remy,
Aye.
Forrest Fromme,
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Aye.
Jim Bansma,
Aye.
Marie Fenske.
Aye.
Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is mayor's appointment to the Police and Fire Commission. Rachel Davison resigned. She is moving to Lamartine. So I'm making an appointment for the rest of Rachel's term, which I think is like a year and a half.
5/1/2027.
Okay, 5/1/2027, and my appointment is Don Kennard. So, agenda item 21, act on my appointment to the Police and Fire Commission.
I'll second that.
What was his name, Don?
Kennard.
So he was a police officer here in the city of Horicon quite a few years ago, probably now. While I've been here. But it's been here. Huh? Went to the county.
Thanks, Jim.
Is that Police and Fire Commission?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's, Rachel.
He's now a sergeant over in Calera.
Yes.
Just had training.
Oh, yeah, held up that right.
Any other comments on the appointment? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Jim Bansma.
Aye.
Marie Fenske. Aye. Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
Forrest Fromme.
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item 22 is the operator licenses. Marie?
Make a motion to approve operator licenses for 1 year for Jennifer Hahn and Justin Lopina.
One second.
Any comments? All right, if not, clerk, please call the roll.
Marie Fenske.
Aye.
Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
Forrest Fromme.
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Aye.
Jim Bansma.
Aye.
Operator license approved. Agenda item 23 is financial statement for August. Forrest?
Make a motion to approve the financial statement included in your package.
Second. Any comments? All right, if not, clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest Fromme.
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Aye.
Jim Bansma.
Aye.
Marie Fenske.
Aye.
Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is acting on the bills for August. Forrest?
Yep, make a motion to approve the August 2023 payables in the amount of $401,701.05.
Second. Any comments? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest Fromme.
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Aye.
Jim Bansma.
Aye.
Marie Fenske.
Aye.
Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
All right, at this point, is there a motion to adjourn into closed session?
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you all. Are there any comments on going to closed session? Not clerk, please call the roll.
Bryce Remy.
Aye.
Forrest Fromme.
Aye.
Dick Marshke.
Aye.
Jim Bansma.
Aye.
Marie Fenske. Aye. Christine Schmitz.
Aye.
All right, we're in closed session, I'm turning on the screen.
I